Yo, what's good, guys? It's Austin here, or Luna. So sorry for no recent videos. I've just been in the middle of moving, but I got my setup unpacked now, so I can make videos now, which is dope. Today's story time is a pretty crazy one. Now, before I start this story time, never, ever, ever, ever do something like this. Always put your best interest and, put yourself first in a situation like this and think about, yourself. But yeah, today's story time's crazy. This story time takes place in 10th grade. I was hanging out with a friend in first period. Everything was going great. Start of the day. For once, I was just eating my breakfast. Kind of having a good day so far, which was, odd for me in high school. But then second period came, and a different friend who sat next to me in second period was like, yo, dude, can you do me a huge favor? I was like, what do you want me to do? Now, this friend of mine, he got in trouble a lot, like way more than I ever could. He was always on thin ice with the entire school staff, and like he'd get in trouble with his parents all the time. He'd get the police called in on him a lot when he was at home because he would just run away like in the middle of the night and just, he just wasn't the best behavior type of kid. And he was a good dude though, so that's why me and him were friends. And we would sometimes just, get into bullshit together. But this time was a little different. He's like, yo, can you please do me a huge favor? I was like, what? What do you want, man? He's like, listen, I have a small amount of shrooms in my backpack. The principal has had her eyes on me all fucking morning. I'm worried that she's going to search me because she searched me last week. And could you please hold on to them for me? I was like, dude, what? He's like, yeah, just to the end of the day. And I'm like, dude, really? Like, why would you bring shrooms to school? He's like, I don't know. I wasn't thinking. I'm just really worried. I don't know. I didn't want to keep them at home. I'm like, all right, listen, fine. I'll take them off your hands, but you better get them at the end of the day. He's like, yeah, man, the minute the last period's over, I'll come to your locker, I'll grab them, like, whatever. I'm like, okay. And this is in the middle of what we're doing a project, so everyone's working in groups. So there's a third person just sitting there at our table, like, listening to this, and, like, we kind of knew him, and we trusted him not to say anything. He was just kind of laughing. But, yeah, we were all just, sketched out. So anyway, I take this kid's shrooms. It wasn't a lot. It was like a gram. I mean, it's a lot to have in school. You should never have shrooms on you in school. It's just a stupid idea. But yeah, I'm going through the whole day just filled with anxiety. I go to third period, everything's fine. I go to fourth period, everything's fine. I go to lunch, everything's good. And I'm like, just, really worried the whole day that someone's going to like ask me to, like look through my backpack or something. So I get through pretty much the entire day. I'm like 99% finished with my day. I'm in last period. And my same friend who he, had the shrooms to begin with, he was in the classroom right next to mine. And I was texting him. I was like, all right, so after this class, I'm going to meet you right outside your door. And then we can go to your locker. I'll give you your shrooms back. You can put them in your backpack, whatever. And then we're done. He's like, yeah, man, thank you so much once again for doing this. And I was like, yeah, no problem. So right as the bell's about to ring, like 10 minutes before the bell's about to ring, I can give my friend his stupid shrooms back and I can go home. My classroom door swings open, and it's my principal and one of my school security guards. And she's like, hey, we're just here to take Austin to the main office. And I look at them, and they're like, yeah, can you come with us? And I get up, and I kind of just like do the walk of shame to the door, and everyone's staring at me in the class, like probably wondering what's going on, like what did I do? And I'm following them up to the main office, up the stairs, and they're in front of me, and they're looking ahead, like just kind of leading the way. And I'm freaking out. I'm like, they're going to search me. Like, how'd they find out? So I reach into my front pocket of my backpack where I have the shrooms, and I put all of them in my mouth without them seeing. I don't know how they didn't turn around at all. They just kept looking ahead, and I put them all in my mouth. It was so gross. I'm chewing them as fast as I can. Like, my mouth is just filled with shrooms. I feel gross. I somehow managed to get them down before we get to the main office, and I sit down in the principal's office with my principal and the security guard standing right there. And I'm just feeling disgusting. Like, I feel so nauseous and anxious. And she's like, hey, Austin, so you're probably wondering why we brought you in here. And I was like, yeah, I am. And she's like, well, we'd just like to ask you some questions about your friend Aaron. Now, my friend's name isn't actually Aaron, but for the sake of the video, we're calling him Aaron. So I was just like, okay, what are the questions? And she's like, well, I'd like to know, do you have any reason to believe that he sells drugs or anything like that on school grounds? And I was like, no, I have no reason to believe that. And I actually didn't. Like, in my head, I'm thinking, like, he would never. Because he never had. He never asked me if I wanted to buy anything. He never asked any of our friends if they wanted to buy anything. He never sold drugs, period, in his life. And I had no reason to believe that he was doing that at school. Like, yeah, he brought shrooms, which is stupid. but that wasn't to sell. That was probably to do before or after school, which is stupid, but still, like, he wasn't selling them. So I answered honestly. And then she says, look, I know you and Aaron are good friends and you would never want to get your friend in trouble, but if you do tell us anything today, we're not going to tell him that you said anything. It'll be completely anonymous and you'd be doing the right thing. So please, one more time, like, has he ever sold anything on school grounds, or do you have any reason to believe that he is? And I was like, no, honestly, like, he has never sold anything on school grounds. He's never alluded to it. He's never said anything about it. And she's like, okay, well, thank you. You're free to go. That's it. And I was like, oh, that's it? And she's like, yeah. Were you expecting something else? I was like, no. And she's like, okay, have a good one, Austin. So I get up, I walk out of there, and in my mind, I'm thinking, like, why did she have the security guard in there with her? Like, usually when I get called to the office for something that was, like, minor or, like, just some questions, she never had the security guard with her. They usually would only bring the security guard in if they were going to do a search so the security could go through your things. So I get out of there, I'm all relieved. I'm like, yes, like, I'm so glad that just happened. Like, that wasn't even that bad. And I completely forgot about the fact that I swallowed a bunch of shrooms. And I was like, fuck. And it hit my mind, and I just instantly started having a panic attack. I got all nauseous and freaked out. I run to the bathroom so fast. I felt so nauseous. I get in there, I go into the first stall I see, and within seconds, I threw up all of the shrooms, and that was the end of it. Like, I was so anxious that I didn't even have to try. I just threw up naturally from being anxious and just thinking about it. And yeah, it was quick enough from between me eating them and all that happening to not really have any effect on me. I didn't really trip or anything. So yeah, I was pretty much fine. And when I was in the office, it was a really quick encounter. I was only in there for a few minutes because they asked me like one question twice, and that was it. And I left right after that. So yeah, there wasn't a lot of time between me eating them and then me going to the bathroom. So yeah, I got it out of my system pretty quick. But right after I leave the bathroom, the bell rings and everyone starts leaving class. And as I'm going back towards my classroom, I see my friend, and he walks up to me. He's like, yo, you got it? And I was like, listen, dude, I don't know why they called me up there or why they think this, but I got called up to the office right after I got done texting you. And I was getting escorted by security and the principal, and I thought they were going to search me, so I ate all your shrooms on the way up there while they weren't looking. But when I got up there, they just asked me if I have reason to believe that you sell drugs on the school grounds. And I said no, of course. But yeah, by the time that all got over with, I went to the bathroom and I threw them up. And yeah, my bad, man. Sorry, I ate them. He's like, dude, no, it's totally fine. Like, really? That's what they asked you? I was like, yeah, they called me in there randomly. I have no idea why they'd even call me up. Like, you talk to a lot of people. I don't know why they picked me. He's like, yeah, bro, what else did they say? I was like, that was it, man. Like, they just asked if I have reason to believe that you sell, which I said no, because you don't, right? He's like, no, obviously not. I'm not that stupid. He's like, I told you, man. Like, they've been eyeing me. They want to get me for stuff that doesn't even make sense. He's like, they caught me with weed one time in school, and now they think I'm selling that shit and selling shit through school all the time. He's like, it's just not the case. And I was like, all right, man, fair enough. But seriously, like, be careful from now on. Don't bring anything to school. They got their eyes on you. Like, be careful. He's like, yeah, man, for sure, I'm gonna. Like, once again, I'm so sorry about this. I was like, it's all good. Like, next time I just gotta, be more careful myself. He's like, yeah, for sure. My bad, dude. And yeah, I pretty much spent the rest of that day just calming down and relaxing. And the whole rest of that school year, he never got a random search ever again. It's probably just because they had no more reason to look at him anymore as, like, selling anything, because he didn't sell anything, and he also just, stopped being stupid. He didn't bring anything to school anymore. But yeah, moral of the story is, don't do anything like that. Don't bring something to school or anywhere that's illegal, and don't hold anything that's illegal for one of your friends. Just look out for yourselves, be safe, be smart, and just don't be like Aaron or Austin in that story time. Aaron and Austin kind of sounds like an off-brand Disney show. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much the end of the story time. And yeah, in the end, me and him were both good. And yeah, nothing that dumb between us ever happened again. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. Feel free to leave a like on the video if you guys did enjoy the story time. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below. And subscribe if you're new. And yeah, I just moved into a new house, so let me know if you guys might want to see a house tour. I'm not sure if I'm going to do one. I have to make the house look very nice and very cool before I do one of those. I have to still unpack some stuff. But yeah, let me know in the comments if that's something you guys would want to see. But yeah, that's it for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm out. Peace.
Taking what I want like pirates. Niggas make their dough from Pyrex. I'm just in the studio. I don't want coronavirus. Wish I had some psilocybin. I get then, I get now, I get next. Watch me flex and get. I'm so stressed. Fuck. Hey, I can't even go to the club. Wait, I don't even like going.